Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russia's leader Vladimir Putin has said ties with Chinese President Xi Jinping are at an unprecedented level as the two met in Beijing on the eve of a massive military parade. Mr. Putin described Xi as a dear friend, with Russia planning to increase supplies of gas to China, while Beijing will offer visa-free travel to Russians during a year-long trial. Mr. Xi will host China's largest ever military parade on Wednesday to mark the 80th anniversary of the formal surrender of the Japanese at the end of World War II.
For Modi, this is a big opportunity, but also, of course, for Putin and for Xi and the other dictators who will show up in China, this is an opportunity to sort of reaffirm the axis of aggressors, or the axis of autocrats, if you will, and their cooperation in the defense of their regimes against what they see as democratic encroachment. Now, the democratic world is at the same time sort of much less cohesive than it has been in the past, because you have President Trump, who has made overtures to President Putin, but not so much to fellow democracies in Europe.
Meanwhile, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has arrived in Beijing to meet with his Chinese and Russian counterparts. It is the first time in his 14-year rule that Mr. Kim has joined a multilateral event, and it is the first time all three leaders have met, with commentators saying the visit is designed to demonstrate trilateral solidarity against the United States. Mr. Kim, who does not like to fly, took his trademark green armoured train to Beijing. Rescuers are using helicopters to search for survivors in the ruins of remote villages in eastern Afghanistan after a powerful earthquake killed 800 people and injured 1,800 others. Many are feared trapped under the rubble of their homes after the magnitude 6 earthquake struck on Sunday near the country's border with Pakistan. Authorities searched by air for the second day on Tuesday as roads blocked with debris and mountainous terrain in the affected areas made land travel difficult. The Taliban government has appealed for international help.
What a tragedy for a country that has far more than its share of tragedies. I don't expect a big inflow of aid. It certainly won't come from the United States, where Donald Trump has eliminated the U.S. Agency for International Development, the principal agency in the U.S. government to provide disaster assistance. It won't be coming significantly from the United Nations. The Taliban are not very popular any place.
A UN official says a landslide has killed at least 370 people in the remote Mara Mountains in western Sudan. The UN's Deputy Humanitarian Coordinator for Sudan said that it was hard to assess the scale of the incident or the exact death toll, as the area was very hard to reach. Sudan Liberation Movement Army, the armed group in control of the affected area, had earlier said as many as 1,000 people could have died. A flotilla of boats headed for Gaza carrying 350 pro-Palestinian activists, including climate change campaigner Greta Thunberg, has departed from Barcelona. Around 20 vessels displaying Palestinian flags left the Spanish port at 7 p.m. local time on Monday, stocked with medical and food supplies. The flotilla first attempted to set sail on Sunday but had to return to port due to stormy weather. The aim of the mission is to break Israel's illegal siege on Gaza, the organisers said, though a previous attempt to reach Gaza by sea was intercepted by Israeli forces. The coup trial of Brazil's right-wing former president Jair Bolsonaro has entered its final stage. He is accused of masterminding an attempt to stay in power after losing his bid for re-election in 2022, which culminated in his supporters breaking into and vandalizing government buildings in the capital. A panel of 5 Supreme Court judges is expected to reach a verdict by the 12th of September. Mr. Bolsonaro has always denied any wrongdoing and said the charges were politically motivated. And northern lights have been spotted across the UK for the first time this autumn. From northern Scotland, North Wales to Norfolk and Kent, the bright colours of the aurora were visible after a strong solar storm. Space weather forecasters highlighted the chance of the aurora on Monday afternoon after satellites monitoring solar activity picked up an eruption on the surface of the sun, known as a coral mass ejection. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.